I went to locals again with Melffys, and this time it absolutely flopped. I lost every game, and instead of um, just going through the deck, I really want to reflect on what I could have done better, because I think I played very optimally, but the deck choices were very poor, setting me up for failure. And I think it's very important also to reflect not only on your game by game skill, but also on your deck building skill, because that's very important. And I think we tend to blame bad games and bad luck or bad matchups a lot for our losses, but this time I completely lost because of how I built my deck, I believe, and I will go over some stuff while going through the deck. Firstly, with the Melffys I played, I was very happy. The goal of this game is going into a one-card combo with Wardy, because I think that's like the thing that Melffys does really good. If your Wardy and the other Melffys resolve, you get a one-card pop, rip one card out of your opponent's hand, and then again pop 3 with Stardust, Satellite Warrior I meant, and yeah, I think that's very nice. So everything in the stack is geared towards getting Wardy on the board and making sure it resolves. Then free Puppy, also good Melffy to draw, as well as Magnetory for the Wardy combo, which I will show later. Free Catty, also a good one, and then one Fanny and one Pony just for extra names if you have hard drawn Catty and or Puppy together with your Wardy, and or if you just want to use their need their effects. All of these Melffys bounce themselves if your opponent summons a monster, and maybe I should also go over it. Wardy summons 2 Melffys from the deck. Puppy summons a level 2 or lower beast from the deck. Catty searches a beast card to your hand. Fanny special summons a beast from your graveyard, and Pony adds a level 2 or lower beast from your graveyard to the hand. Those are the Melffy monsters. Almost. Then Melffy Pilly, this is the only one that doesn't bounce itself from the field. This one has the effect that if it is in your hand and you have bounced a Melffy during your turn, you can special summon it and then immediately synchro summon using Melffys in your hand, which is a very nice interruption in your opponent's turn. Then free staring contest for the Melffy spell and traps, just for more consistency. This lets you reveal a beast and then search Melffy with another name. 2 hide and seek, this recycles cards and lets you draw cards. And 2 Melffy tag, which is a reborn, a quick spell reborn. I will in the future cut one of this and one of this, because they are searchable with one of your Xyz monsters for just more starters. 3 rescue cats and 2 rescue cats and 3 obedience schools probably, which have not arrived yet, and that is one of the first errors I think I made during building this deck. This is not really consistent enough. You get into your Melffys, but sometimes you just have one Melffy on the field and that's all you have, and that's not really good enough for most games. Even if it's the Wardy, if you only have the Wardy and nothing else, it will just be negated, and I bricked very hard today just because there's too much thing you don't want to draw. For example, Melffy Tech and Hide and Seek are not that great. That's why I will change some of it and some of my non-engine for more starters. I also forgot a Melffy Playhouse. This just is used to bounce enemy cards. Then 2 Calentosa, which pops a card on summon when summoned by effect of a beast monster. 1 Hobbyist Squadron, which also allows you to quick synchro on your opponent's turn. And 1 Alpha the Beastmaster. This again I think is a mistake to play as a one-off in the main deck. Either if you want to draw it, you play play 3 off, or you cut it completely. My reasoning for playing 1 was I can search it off of Catty to my hand. But I don't think that's a correct choice, but because almost every time when you use Catty, you either want to add Melffy Pilly or Hop Ear Squadron to do synchros on your opponent's turn. With this card, if you get this off of Catty, you have to wait the complete opponent's turn for them to do stuff, hopefully not kill you, and then you can use this, which is most often too late, or if you can still use it, it doesn't help you that much. The quick synchros on the opponent's turn are just so much better, so I would say either 3 of them or none of them. And maybe just move it to the side deck. I'm not sure if I want to play this in the side deck because there I think are better options, but it's something to consider. Then I went very heavily on non-engine because my starters haven't arrived yet from Card Market, but I will cut 3 of the hand traps I was playing. Even though the heavy hand trap lineup is very nice, it just doesn't protect your body line, which is, like I said, the only thing the stack really has going for it enough. It's nice to disrupt your opponent, but I think I will cut some of them for more consistency and just higher ceiling combos with Obedient School. 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Imperm, 3 Nip, because I feel those are the best for locals at the moment, because Ash and Imperm just stop so much, and Nip is just a turn ender sometimes, especially against weaker decks. And then I played an assortment of other hand traps which I thought was good, with 2 Veiler, 2 Ogre, 2 Mourner. The reasoning is playing 2 offs, especially with this one, because they are once per turn. I would rather draw and not draw them 2 times, so I play these here. And I have the 3rd copy of each one in the side deck for the matchups where they are good and where I definitely want 3 of them. Overall, as I said, this has two major problems so far. It's not that consistent, and it has a tendency to at least brick a bit. You most often get one Melffy on the field, a Puppy, Catty or Wally, but that just doesn't do enough. This dies to the first interruption of your opponent. That's one of the things I will try to change the most with this deck. Then, for the extra deck, one Merry Melffy, which is very nice because if you quick synchro this on your opponent's turn with Hop Ear Squadron or Penny, you can bounce a card. Then 2 Melffy of the Forest, which is your Searcher, which was not as good in this deck because I didn't play Rescue Rabbit or Obedient Scoot, I couldn't make this first turn, where it would be the greatest if I could just search what I was missing, and I didn't really use my Xyz monsters at all because it was very hard with the cards I was playing to get 2 Xyz monsters, 2 level 2 monsters on the field to make a Xyz. A Joyce Melffy and a Melffy Mummy, I didn't even use them. Then for the combo, which I will show later, a Desert Locust, Excel Stardust, Stardust, and this is a 1-card line from Wally, which will either end you in a Satellite Warrior with 3 pops, or a Baron, and both of them are unaffected from your opponent's card effect for the remaining opponent's turn. 1 Raccoon, 1 Cat Shark, 1 Zeus, 1 Herald, 1 Hearthstone. This I only played because I really like the old and elder entities, but this will probably be cut for a Fabled Unicorn just to get some more negates first turn on the field if you draw Obedient School. Then, for my side deck, 1 Ghostbell, 1 Raider, 1 Ogre, just to complete the playsets and side them in the decks where they are good against. 3 Lava Golem, because it's hard to get rid of enemy fields with this deck, and you can bounce the Lava Golem with your Melffy, with your Merry Melffy. 3 Cosmic, if I play against stun or just need spell and trap removal in the main deck, because the Satellite Warrior line goes into 3 pops and the Kalatosas can pop cards, but sometimes it's just nice to have more spell and trap removal handy, especially ones which I can use just on my terms. Then, something I think was a good idea but just didn't work out so well, I played 3 Solemn Strike. The idea was if I was going first, I can set this and protect my Wardy from Ghost Ogre, Vader, and similar cards. Additionally, if I don't need it for that, I can just stop enemy special summons and effects. I think this is not a bad idea and decision. I think that was one of the best things I tried this time with the deck, but I will change this probably for anti-spell fragrances, because if my opponent gets monster on the field, that's when those cards are live. Okay, true, they also stop the hand traps, but if my opponent gets monster on the field, I don't need this. That's when my Melffys kick in most of the times. It's great to stopping hand traps, but what was much more problematic were spells. I played Sky Striker and Runix, and even other decks that didn't play that. I played Snake Eye Rescue Ace variant, and against, not I myself played it, but those 3, even though they were very nice, will probably be changed for anti-spell fragrances, because if your opponent can just out you with spells, you can't do anything. Your Melffys won't trigger and your cards are just dead weight. That's why I probably will next time go for anti-spell fragrances. Yeah, and try them out. And the last card I wanted to try, and which was just a bad decision, is Emissary of the House of Wax. I really like this card. You can special summon this if your opponent attacks you. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and at the end of the battle phase, all your opponent's monsters' effect gets negated and they can't be used as materials for Synchro, Link, and Xyz summon. My thought was, okay, going through my Melffy lines maybe, going through my Melffy lines and then dropping this on my opponent. But this is not good enough. I really wanted to side it in, and it just won't do enough, because if your opponent gets to the battle phase and be threatening at all, which means you haven't gotten to your full combo with your Satellite Warrior or Baron probably, this card will not save you, because you have spent all your resources and you probably don't have any left. So you have to hope for a really good top deck, and even then your opponent probably can just prevent this. He just has to pop it or negate it in the battle phase, which probably most decks can if they want to have a battle phase. Yeah. So not a big fan of this in this deck. I still want to test it in other decks, because I think the effect is just really cool, but didn't work here. So I think I will go for more consistency, and I want to get more things in the extra deck which I can summon or use with my Melffy Wardy, so that Melffy Wardy is not the only thing on board and can just be negated. But for the end, I just want to go through the combo in quotation marks. From a Melffy Wardy, which you have on field, if your opponent summons a monster, you can activate its effect to bounce it back and summon 2 Melffys. From this, you can summon a puppy and a catty. If your opponent then summons again, which most decks summon more than 2 times, you can activate both, chainlink 1 catty so it can't get Ash, chainlink 2 puppy, and then from the puppy you get a Cadentosa on the field, and from the catty you will get a penny to your hand. Then on summon you can use the Cadentosa effect to pop a card. Then at any point during your opponent's turn you can activate Pilly. It summons itself and allows you to quick synchro, using puppy and catty for that. And you will quick synchro into a Desert Locust. This has a magnetory effect that the turn player needs to discard a card, which is your opponent. So your opponent discards a card, and then it has a quick effect where you can synchro summon again with monsters on your field, I think including this card. You will then synchro summon those two into a Excel Stardust. On summon its effect trigger to summon back a tuner. Then at any moment you want, you can use its effect to tribute it, summon a Stardust Dragon, and then synchro summon. And here are two possible targets, Baron and Satellite Warrior. Satellite Warrior gives you 3 pops because you have 3 synchro monsters in the graveyard, and for every pop against 1008 attack, and if it is destroyed you can even summon back your 2 Stardust Dragons. And the other card is Baron the Fleur, which first of all can give you just another negate if you know your opponent just has one thing left. It gives you a pop on your turn, 3000 ITK, also nice, and you can use it in your opponent's standby phase to bring them back your Desert Locust and maybe even cycle your Barons with help of the Wardy, which can be really nice. Also, because those two will first be summoned with the Excel Stardust Dragon, they are also unaffected by opponent's card effect for the rest of the turn. This is the combo I planned this deck around because I think that's a strong thing to do, and the deck can do that fairly consistently. But I now want to look at ways where I can make this more stable, even with maybe with more negates on the field, or just something to annoy my opponent so they can't just spend their resources negating my Wardy and other effects. Just so they have to focus their resource on something other. Yeah, that's it.